Okay, part two, questions here. You wrote me back, Kristen, you sent me a ton of questions here, so let me get started here. It says you're from Ontario, I think I read that earlier. You're from Guelph, Ontario. I've never been there, but I've been to Canada many times. When I was a kid, Dad used to take us on vacations there. Loved it, beautiful place, friendly people. You know, everything I've heard about Canadians seemed to be true. You know, never had a bad experience. Knock on wood with Canadian, very nice people. Next question. Did you find some foods hard on your stomach in Serbia? I've got a pretty, you can see how much is hard on my stomach, you know. Probably everything's hard on my stomach, but everything here has been good. One of the best things about this country, when I have to think of reasons why I'm here to answer everybody's questions, why in the hell are you staying in Serbia? What do you like about that country? One of the first things that pops in my head is the food. I really enjoy food here. I'm a food guy, as you can see. Food and beverage guy, you know, and that's one reason I'm here. The rostil is like barbecued meat, like you would have out on the grill, grilled meat, I'm sorry. They have kobasica with the sausage, pljeskavica, which is burgers. It's like beef and pork sometimes mixed, sometimes this and that, different things. Some of them are stuffed with cheese and meat and ham and different things. That's called pljeskavica, wonderful. Big patties, it's massive. You can watch my food series to see what it looks like. Sarma, which is like cabbage, sour cabbage with rice and meat inside. Makes me hungry. I'm kind of drooling when I think about it. All the condiments here that I think of, like that you put on burgers. You know, in the USA, you go to a burger place, they'll tell you, what do you want? Ketchup, mustard, relish, mayonnaise. That's about all you can get. You know, here you've got lutenica, you've got urnabes, you've got kaimak, you've got pavlika, you've got mayonnaise, you've got ketchup, you've got tons of things. But things that are hard on my stomach, very little. Don't worry about getting sick on the food. I mean, I really don't think that'll be an issue. Well, it depends on your stomach. I'm sorry, how silly of me to say such things. Some things that are a little bit hard maybe is ajvar. Ajvar is like a condiment that Serbians eat. It's peppers mixed with sometimes eggplant and onion and different things, depending on who makes it. But it can be very, very spicy. Lutenica is probably the only thing that, and urnabes, it's like a spicy, cheesy peppers in it. Sometimes that lutenica's got peppers and it's very hot, very hot. And if you get that, sometimes that can mess my stomach up. But that's really all I would say, for me personally. Is bottled water, tums, or any stomach remedies available to buy in Pirot? Yeah, you'll find all over the city. It's called an apoteka in Serbian. It's a pharmacy, apoteka. And they're all over the place. And when you go inside, there's not tums. I've never seen tums here, because I usually have tums with me, but they don't have them. But they've got very similar things. There's a really good pill, and forgive me, I can't think of it. Every Serbian would know. If you tell them you have an upset stomach, diarrhea, or acid problems, they'll tell you the name of it, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. But you go into an apoteka, guaranteed one of those young ladies will understand English, or you can just go, stomach, and they'll give it to you. It's very simple, very cheap. It's not like in the West. You know, you go into Canada, you've got universal health care, but USA, you need something that would probably be prescription in the United States you could get here at an apoteka over the counter, and it would be so cheap, you know. So don't worry about that. In Pirot, you have them all over the place. I know of 2 apotekas already in Pirot. Do a fair bit of Serbians speak a little English? Yes. More than a fair bit speak English, and more than a little English. They speak very good English. The majority of my friends speak fluent English, just as good as I do, except their accent is a little different. And maybe their vocabulary words are not as developed because they don't, it's not their native language. But like I've said numerous times, anybody here, and I know this because I'm old and I've lived here for 3 years, the majority of people under 30 years old speak English very well. Even those that will tell you that they don't, they still understand you. Those above 30, not so well. Above 40, very few, unless they're from a very educated family, okay? But Serbians are good by understanding. Our next part here, sorry. You said, I can speak a fair bit of Serbian. Unfortunately, they're all individual words and not sentences by any means. Do I speak Serbian? No. How did you best learn Serbian? I haven't. And how long did it take you to learn? I haven't. Okay, so that goes back to your original question. I am able to live here for off and on for 3 years, currently consecutively 1 year and 7 months now, and I don't speak Serbian. I know numerous words, and I have a hard time putting them into sentences because Serbian is a very hard language, and I've never had lessons here. But, you know, to get back to that, you know, you get back to those people over 40, most of the time there's somebody around. So many occasions I've been into a place with an older person, I'm trying to explain something to him, and I'll say, Izvinite, jako malo pričam srpski, gospođo, razumete engleski? And they'll say, no. And then somebody around, usually somebody else will say, hey, I can help. What do you need? How can I help you? Somebody is always, country is about helping others, especially if you're a foreigner. You know, Serbs to Serbs, they don't like each other, they don't help each other. But if they hear you're a foreigner and you're trying to speak their language, they're going to love it, they're going to help you. What is your favorite pub restaurant in Pirot? There's a place called Euphoria, and it was my favorite, kind of my favorite place to go. And it was, you'll notice when you get to Pirot, where you drop you off the bus, there's an old fortress, beautiful. You walk down to the center of town, you can't miss it. There's a big, ugly old hotel that they're revamping, and then there's beautiful fountains in the middle of town, these little strange statues, and all the nightlife is right in there. You go upstairs, there's bar, nightclub. It's for a town with very little money and very few things. You've got a lot of pubs and a lot of bars and a lot of nightlife, you know, that are really nice. There's also a wonderful restaurant. Dang it, I wish I could tell you the name of it. It's, your boyfriend will know. There's that main bridge that goes over this little stream with these big trees. There's these massive trees with this walkway that goes way down to the swimming pool, there in the center. You walk over this little walk bridge, and the restaurant's over on the other side on the right-hand side, red, gorgeous, awesome food, very cheap too. But Euphoria, you have to check Euphoria. It's like the best nightclub in town. It's open really late. I don't know, I don't think they regulate in Pirot as much as they do in other cities. A lot of times in Belgrade here, some places have to be, depending on what it is, some of them have to be closed at 1 o'clock, some of them can be open till 4 or 6 o'clock. It depends if it's a kafana, different things like that. You'll love the nightlife if you like to go out, you know. Did you get any vaccinations before going to Serbia? No, I did not. I didn't get any vaccinations here. So I haven't needed any so far, you know. It's a clean, very clean country. I mean, you've got one problem I see, there's a lot of Serbians that in certain parts of town that just throw trash around, and that is a problem. And even in some villages I've noticed, and you get a little outside the villages and some of these people just toss their trash out, but it's not as bad as it is in places, you know, where I'm from or where I lived in Mexico. Here, I don't know if they have a whole lot of fines for littering. I wish they would. But so tetanus and stuff like that, you know, it might not hurt to get a tetanus shot if you're going to be out in the woods here, you know, hiking around or something like that, but nothing else. I mean, you don't need any of those measles, you know, anything like that. You know, they don't have any issues like that. Very clean country, safe. People live to be old here, you know. There's a lot of old people. They live just as long as I do. And in the USA, they tell us, oh, our medical care is the best in the world. That's why we have to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to go bankrupt to go to the doctor. But yet, our life expectancy is like 76 for a male. Mine's probably 40. But in Serbia, you've got 76-year-old men here. You know, it's all a scam. So Serbia is very clean. Are there any requirements for entrance to Serbia besides a valid passport? For a Canadian, no. You don't need to do anything. You know, and I know you said you haven't traveled much outside the USA. What you're going to probably do, probably from Canada, you'll probably fly into Paris or Frankfurt, Germany, and then from Frankfurt or even to Istanbul, and then it's usually 2 stops to Serbia. I don't know if they have direct flights to Canada to Serbia, but more than likely you'll go to Frankfurt, and then you'll go through customs control just through their side thing. They'll just look at your passport, and then you get on the next flight into Belgrade. You get to Belgrade, there's 3 little booths. You stand in line, you go up there, sometimes they'll say, why are you here, what are you doing, why, blah, 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 or who are you staying with? You'll be with your boyfriend who speaks Serbian. so you won't have any issues. They're friendly. They've never searched my bags, never given me hassle for at any time. So you won't have any problems, and then they'll stamp your passport and you're good for 90 days. Okay? I'm going to start the next video. Do widzenia.